As I'm talking about friends of the opposite sex, I want to let you know also, I'm going to talk to the friend, the male or the female friend of the opposite sex. I'm going to let you know this. A lot of times when you are not friends with the relationship, you're not friends with both partners, you have to remember that your male friend that's coming to you or your female friend that's coming to you, you're always going to be getting their side of the story. The second thing you have to realize, you do not live with that man or that woman. So let's start with the females. You're his friend. You are having these regular conversations and texting and things of that with him, and maybe encouraging him, and he's telling you, complaining to you about his wife or his girlfriend. You're talking and you're giving him advice, but it's more likely that you have no idea what you're talking about. Why? You don't live in that house. You don't live with him. You don't live with them. Even if they're not living together, you are not knowing him on the level that woman is knowing him. More than likely, if you've been his friend or maybe you dated him at one point, he is not necessarily going to be the same with her that he is with you. Your scenarios and your what you knew about that individual at that time when you went out with them may not be the same as how he has changed, or he has digressed or evolved or became a better person or did not. He is not the same. So you don't know what she is experiencing with that person. And a lot of times they're going to present to you with a side of them that is normally their public face, okay? Their charming face. And they can be a certain way with you because they are not doing life with you. You understand that? They're not with you paying bills, going through the frustrations of life, the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows. They only know you in this particular arena on the phone, your fun, your whatever, but you're not doing life with this person. The same charm and thing that he may be giving to you, you probably are not getting that from your own spouse or your own partner, because they're there with you. You're doing life with him. And that's why you are looking to your male friend to talk to him, because there are frustrations in your own home. Now, with that being said, if you are that friend that you've already slept with this man, and I'm talking to believers now, this is probably something you should not even be in, because you already have a connection to him that makes you slightly biased, as reasonable as you may think that you are. Always remember, you're not in that house with that wife and her husband. You don't know what he is like behind closed doors, but you know he's pleasant on the phone with you. Why? He doesn't do life with you, so he's going to be nicer with you. If the tables were turned and he was doing life with you, he will probably be talking to his wife just as nicely and as sweet, because if she was not his wife and she was just a friend, it would be the complete opposite. I want to say the same thing to the men. You may have a picture of who her husband is or who her partner is based on what she is telling you. But he lives with her. He is dealing with her. He knows her more than you think. And you are getting a side to her that she wants to show you that is more pleasant, because she is not doing life with you. She's not going through the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, living, waking up with you, all of that. So you are more pleasant and she's going to appear to be more pleasant. I'm not saying that there are not legitimate things that man or woman may be going through in their home, okay? Especially if they need help. But as a friend, you must always remember you are on the outside looking in. So you're not in a position to just be making a reference of how great of a friend or great of a guy, great of a female this was in college, when you knew them in this time, when you're hanging out with them, when you see them at work. That is their public self. That is their outside self. But who they are behind closed doors, after they took their shoes off, they take their socks off, after they, unsnap the front lace wig, all of that. Guys, you have to take into consideration that man or woman, that husband and wife, knows this person on a different level than you do. So we have to be very careful that we're not giving poor advice. And I'm going to tell you, you cannot be giving that man or woman, your male friend, female friend, sound advice about their relationship. You're only hearing her side. You're only hearing his side of the story. You're somewhat biased. You don't know her. She doesn't know that you're talking to him that much. He doesn't know that you're talking to his wife that much. Y'all are talking. Y'all are doing these different things. I'm here to tell you, your advice is not sound. It's your feelings. It's what you think based on what he or she has told you. And so it's very important that as single man or woman, married man or woman, when you're dealing with a single or married person of the opposite sex who's in a relationship, that you want to give the respect to their relationship that you would want for yourself. You want to approach this relationship in a godly way. And the godly way means you do not exclude anybody. You do not have it where you are spending so much time with them that you're talking to them more than you're talking to your spouse or your significant other. If it's causing problems, you should not be inciting them in what they need to do to punish their husband or their wife based on what they are telling you, because you are only getting their side. We must walk in wisdom. We must walk in discernment. And discernment wisdom and discernment is going to bring to your attention, I don't live in this house. Wisdom and discernment is going to let you reflect on yourself and say, would this be acceptable for me if my husband or my wife was doing this? I'm not talking about now that, I don't care what they do. Would this be acceptable? Would you want to be discussed in this manner with another man or woman? Would you want your wife or your lady to be bringing your business to another man in this capacity? I want to talk to you guys about something. It's called the emotional redecorators. The emotional redecorators. And I'm going to do that in another video. I'm going to do that in the next video. But guys, when you are married or single and you have a friend of the opposite sex, please be very careful. Always remember this. You guys do not share the same blood. I don't care how much you're saying, this is my sister, this is my brother. You will find that there are some friendships where they do keep those healthy boundaries, and it's great. But there's a lot of people that they are not operating with healthy boundaries. I have 3 brothers and I'm the only girl. Because we share blood, there is a natural setting in all of us towards one another, where there are just certain things we're just not going to do. We love one another, we care about one another, but there's just certain things that's going to keep us from ever crossing lines that would be inappropriate as brothers and sisters. When someone is not your blood, you are not going to have that. You don't have it. And you're going to see, because if you have siblings, you're going to know that the way you're interacting with this man or this woman is not the way you would interact with your siblings. The feelings that you may have for them will not be the same. And I am addressing not people who have healthy friendships and boundaries. I am talking about those of you that you are on the phone with your opposite sex friends early in the morning, throughout the day, late at night. They're calling you nights and weekends, texting you nights and weekends. You will totally override your husband or your wife for this person. That's not important. But guys, we're adults, and no one needs to tell any man or woman how to behave. When you find yourself being in a relationship where you have to be telling this man how to act, or you have to be repeating yourself about something that offends you or makes you uncomfortable, and you find yourself repeating it, it's probably time for you to just, exit stage left, out of this relationship. I can't tell you what to do in your marriage, but what I would tell you, everyone on a whole, is that it's not that that man or the woman doesn't understand. They just don't want to do it. So again, male and females on the outside, be very careful. You're on the outside looking in, and the picture that they've painted is what they want you to know. So you truly do not have a clear picture of what's going on. So therefore, advising the person on the outs, advising that man or that woman about someone else that lives with them or they are close to, while you do not have that sort of interaction with them, you are in grave error. I mean, you're just completely off with that. Okay? So let's pray about things like that, guys, that we can have good and healthy friendships, keep healthy boundaries. If we have friends of the opposite sex, that we are keeping our spouses and those involved. You're being a friend that is your friend of both parties. And you know what? If the person doesn't like you, they just don't like you, but you don't do things to taunt them and to upset them. You have to accept, hey, their wife, their husband doesn't like me. That's okay. You know, you're a friend, and that's what it is. There's not going to be any fighting and going back and forth with that man's wife or that woman's husband. Okay? So let's keep things healthy, guys. We must be the example. We really should not be doing the same type of things that people in the world are doing, people who are unsaved. If you're the child of God, then everything that you're doing needs to represent Him, even in cases of friends of the opposite sex. All right?